So, how can one learn English? कैसे आप अंग्रेजी सीख सकते हैं, कैसे आप अंग्रेजी में बात कर सकते हैं। पर अगर आप ये समझें कि आप ग्रामर सीख लें और कुछ ही दिन में फर्राटेदार अंग्रेजी बोलने लगेंगे, तो हमेशा ऐसा होता नहीं। Hello everyone. Friends, when I talk to my students, quite often, one common phenomenon that everyone talks about is the language. Language that we speak. You talk about project management, you talk about leadership, you talk about agile, you talk about public speaking, you talk about soft skills. One common phenomenon that you have in all of them, in all of these skills, is the language. And in India, it happens to be English. So when you are a professional and you want to start a career, then this common phenomenon that I was talking about, English, plays a huge role. And that's the reason, my friend, when I talk about project management, when I talk about agile, when I talk about leadership, when I talk about soft skill, when I talk about public speaking, one common thing I cannot ignore is English. Yes, so this is the elephant in the room, my dear friends. Who cannot ignore? So, how can one learn English? कैसे आप अंग्रेजी सीख सकते हैं, कैसे आप अंग्रेजी में बात कर सकते हैं। तो लोगों के अलग अलग तरीके हो सकते हैं इस लैंग्वेज सीखने के लिए। Everyone might have different way, right? So if you are comfortable, if you are sincere, if you are hardworking, then you can learn yourself. Yes. Of course, you have to be consistent, you have to be determined, you have to be hardworking, you have to practice a lot, you have to learn the grammar, because grammars are the basics. Unless and until you know the structure, you know the basics, you cannot form sentences. So that is basics. You have to learn. आपको सीखना ही पड़ेगा grammar. पर अगर आप ये समझें कि आप ग्रामर सीख लें और कुछ ही दिन में फर्राटेदार अंग्रेजी बोलने लगेंगे, तो हमेशा ऐसा होता नहीं। तो कोचिंग क्लासेस आपको बहुत मिल जाएंगे जो आपको बेसिकली ग्रामर ही सिखाएंगे। पर अगर आप अपने आप को देखेंगे, अपने आप को अगर परखेंगे, तो ज्यादातर केस में ऐसा होता है कि लोगों के बोलने में ज्यादा अंतर नहीं आता है। Normally, the coaching classes will coach you, will tell you the basics, and probably they will have some odd exercises, some examinations. Yeah. But end of the day, did you get the value that you have invested on? Right. That's what is the most crucial and most important thing. See, English language. Learning English language is like learning any other language. So if I ask this thing, is it difficult to learn English language to a native speaker, जो अंग्रेजी में बचपन से बात करते हैं, उनकी मदर टंग अंग्रेजी है, तो उनको अंग्रेजी बोलने में कोई दिक्कत नहीं आती। अगर मैं ये सवाल किसी हिंदी स्पीकिंग जिनकी मदर टंग हिंदी हो, उनसे पूछूं कि आप हिंदी बोल सकते हैं कि नहीं, हमेशा हिंदी बोल पाएंगे, बचपन से उन्होंने सीखा हो। पर अगर मैं उन्हें बोलूं कि आप अंग्रेजी बोल पाएंगे कि नहीं, तो कुछ बातों पर मुझे ख्याल करना पड़ेगा। ज्यादातर केस में ऐसा नहीं होता, क्योंकि उनको एनवायरमेंट नहीं मिलता है, उनको माहौल नहीं मिलता है। That's what is important. So when you go to any coaching center, what is most crucial is, apart from the grammar that you have to know, apart from the basics, we should have the environment, right? So अंग्रेजी सीखने की जरूरतें अलग अलग होती हैं. So there might be different people with different background and they have different requirement, right? So a housewife just need to learn the language, just need to learn to speak. The businessman just need to learn to speak. But it may not be the case with the student. Students should know to speak. Students should also focus on vocabulary. So there are some students who are giving competitive examinations, so their requirement is something different. So requirement के हिसाब से आपको क्या सीखना है, कितना सीखना है, ये जरूरी हो जाता है. अगर आप स्टूडेंट हैं तो आप स्पोकन इंग्लिश से ज्यादा सीखना चाहते हैं, आप एडवांस लेवल सीखना चाहते हैं, आप पब्लिक स्पीकिंग सीखना चाहते हैं, आप वोकैबुलरी सीखना चाहते हैं. तो अगर आप एक हाउसवाइफ हैं तो आप स्पोकन इंग्लिश सीखना चाहते हैं. तो स्पोकन इंग्लिश की जरूरत हो तो उन्हें हाई लेवल ग्रामर की जरूरत नहीं होती है. उन्हें कुछ टेंसेस की जरूरत होती है, प्रीपोजिशन, पार्ट ऑफ स्पीच और कुछ लेवल ऑफ ग्रामर जरूरत होता है. एडवांस ग्रामर सीखने की जरूरत नहीं होती. You don't need to learn advanced level of language if your intention is to learn spoken English. If you want to have some competitive examination, of course, you have to improve your vocabulary. If you're a student, you like to have a good personality, you like to speak publicly, right? So you also need to improve your vocabulary. If you're a student in school, then you can learn this through your books. If you are a student who is applying for competitive examination, then you can follow newspapers. Some of you can follow some other movies where you have the native speakers acting, you have the native speakers speaking. So जैसी जिसकी जरूरत होती है उतना ही उसको उतना ही ज्ञान देना चाहिए. या बेसिक ज्ञान आप पालो, बेसिक ज्ञान सीख लो, उसके बाद ज्ञान की तो कोई सीमा नहीं है, तो उसको आप जितना सीखना सीखो. There is no limit to learn. Why should one complicate things? And then they will have an impression that it's very tough to learn English. English is not tough. If you make it tough, okay, it's very tough. Right? So if you want to speak in English, if you want to focus on spoken English, then there are some sort of things that you have to take care of. But if you have some advanced expectation, then there are other sort of things that you need to take care of. And depending on your present ability, you have that much learning journey. So when I talk about project management, there are two things which is very common, like the vision and the roadmap. Vision, अपने आप को आप 6 महीने बाद कहाँ देखना चाहते. So उनके लिए भी जो इंग्लिश लर्निंग की जर्नी शुरू करने वाले हैं, मैं अगर उनको पूछूंगा कि अपने आप को आप 6 महीने बाद कहाँ देखना चाहते हैं, आप जरूर अपने आप को 6 महीने के बाद पराठेदार अंग्रेजी बोलने वाले एक व्यक्ति की तरह देखना चाहते हैं. अपने आप को आप कॉन्फिडेंट स्पीकर के हिसाब से देखना चाहते हैं. अपने आप को एक ऐसे व्यक्तित्व के रूप में देखना चाहते हैं जिसकी वोकैबुलरी बहुत ज्यादा है. You want to see yourself as a person who has a great vocabulary, who has great confidence, who can speak publicly with ease. So that's what vision is all about. How you follow the path, right? So vision and roadmap is very important. Depending upon your background, your culture, from where you are coming, your present situation, this vision and roadmap gives you a goal where you want to see yourself and how you go there, right? I will not teach some advanced concept to someone who just wants to speak good English, because that person's requirement is different. I will get into the advanced concept to someone who wants to have a good vocabulary, who wants to apply for competitive examinations, right? And then the most important part, how do you apply? How do you apply what you have learned? Any skill that you learn, any skill for that matter, what is required? You need to learn the basics, right? Then you improve your level. You go to the middle level and then to the advanced level. Finally, you have some hold on that particular subject. It can be anything. And then what is the most crucial aspect? That is also a part of the learning is application, implementation. How do you apply what you have learned? Unless and until, yes, unless and until you apply what you have learned, you will forget. And that I am talking from my experience. You may think you have learned, but if you don't implement it, either you will be weak or you'll forget. Practice implementations. Speaking more and more, that is what is important. So when I create a journey of coaching someone, I would try to give a holistic approach. So you have to learn the basics. You have to learn the grammar. The most important, you have to learn the grammar. You have to be hardworking. You have to be sincere. You have to write it down. You have to practice. You have to speak. Then you will have examination, of course, unless you give some sort of examination. You don't check your competencies, right? So you need to check your competencies and you need to prepare for your exams. And that itself gives a huge fillip to your learning journey. Right? But what after that? After that is the most crucial part of the learning journey. So anything that you learn, you need to have some implementation. That's what we call as project. Any skill that you learn, unless until you do some case studies, you do some projects, right? You cannot claim expertise over your skill. You have to implement. That's when I teach my students, apart from learning, apart from giving them the grammatical knowledge, apart from expecting hard work from them, apart from motivating them to perform well in exams, the most crucial part what I do is creating an environment where they can practice. We plan sessions with them where we have different kind of games, different kind of events. It can be extempo, it can be the debate sessions, it can be just speak about what you feel. It can be in the form of a game, right? But that makes it a bit entertaining, that makes it a bit fun to learn. So we have regular events where we have the entire student community participating in it, depending on their objectives, right? As I said, some people might focus on spoken English, some people might focus on advanced English, some people might focus on public speaking, some people might focus on some other aspects, right? So depending on their expectation from themselves, they can have different groups and they can interact among them as well. And then we have events where we interact and everything that we conduct is in English. They talk more, they express themselves more, they have an opportunity to excel, they have an opportunity to speak out their mind, right? So that environment, for some period of time, after they have completed all the basic structural aspects, the grammar, the exams, that writing, that speaking, then they get into this zone of implementation, what I call as a project. I will engage with them in those events and together we will create an atmosphere where they can implement their learning. So remember, when we have fun, when we have events, when we have games, then learning becomes far easier, right? So that's what the approach should be, in my opinion, and I always implement with my students same approach. So if you are consistent enough in your mind, if you're sincere enough in your mind, then you can go ahead and learn English yourself. I'm absolutely sure you can do that, provided you have the strength in your determination, provided that you have the sincerity to implement what you think you can. You can go ahead and learn English yourself. For those who need some help, some guidance, some atmosphere to learn holistically, then that's what approach I provide to my student, and I always believe in holistic learning, and that's what we do in our classes, right? And please do connect with me if you need any help from me in your learning journey, in your learning endeavor. Do connect with me. I'm available in Instagram, I'm available in YouTube. And if you think I have made sense in my approach, then please be free to comment. Thank you everyone.